The Sea of Galilee, it has many names: the Sea of Kinneret, Lake Gennesaret, the Harp Sea, but whatever you call it, this body of water holds stories, it holds history. For thousands of years people have lived and worked on these shores, they have fished in these waters, they have built their lives around its predictable tides, and its sudden, unpredictable storms. It's a place of incredible beauty, a freshwater jewel set into the landscape of northern Israel. When you stand on its shores, you can almost feel the weight of all that has happened here. It's more than just water and rock, it's a living testament to faith, to struggle, and to miracles that defy explanation. This sea has seen empires rise and fall. It has listened to the prayers of countless generations. The sunlight dances on its surface during the day, creating a spectacle of shimmering light. But at night it transforms into something else entirely. The moon and stars cast a silvery, mysterious glow across the waves, turning the calm surface into a chaotic, raging tempest. We're going to a specific night on this legendary sea, a night when the ordinary world was about to be touched by the truly extraordinary. This is the setting for a story that has been told for 2,000 years. It's a story that asks us a fundamental question: where do we place our trust when the winds howl and the waves rise against us? Prepare yourself to see this ancient miracle in a way you've never seen it before. The day had been long and draining. A huge crowd, thousands of people, had followed Jesus to a remote place. They were hungry, not just for food, but for hope, for healing, for a connection to something divine. And Jesus had provided for them all. He had taken just 5 loaves of bread, 2 small fish, and multiplied them into many. He fed every single person until they were satisfied. Now, as twilight settled over the hills, the crowds were finally dispersing. Jesus told his disciples to get into their boat. He instructed them to cross to the other side of the sea. He needed a moment alone. He was going up into the mountainside to pray, to reconnect with his Father in solitude. The disciples, weary from the day's events, did as they were told. They pushed their wooden fishing boat from the shore and set their sail. The initial journey was calm. A gentle breeze pushed them along, and the rhythm of the oars dipping into the water was steady and comforting. The shore with Jesus on it grew smaller and smaller until it was swallowed by the approaching night. Out in the middle of the sea, the world changes. There is only the boat, the water, the sky. The disciples were experienced fishermen, but even they could be caught off guard. As the night deepened, the gentle breeze began to shift. It grew stronger, colder. The calm surface of the water began to stir, then to heave as the wind whipped it into a frenzy. This is where our story truly begins. Not with a miracle, but with a storm. Not with divine power, but with human fear. The wind was screaming in the rigging of the boat. The waves were crashing over the sides, filling the small vessel with cold, dark water. They were trapped, tired, frightened, and utterly powerless against the fury of nature. The perfect stage was set for something that would change their lives and the world forever. The storm did not build slowly, it exploded upon them. The wind was a physical force, a solid wall they strained against with every pull of the oars. Rain began to fall, not a gentle shower, but a cold, driving torrent that stung their faces and soaked them to the bone in minutes. The waves grew mountainous, lifting their little boat high on a crest before dropping it sickeningly into a deep trough. Water poured over the sides. They had to bail furiously to keep from being swamped, one hand on a bucket, the other gripping the side of the boat for dear life. They shouted to one another over the scream of the wind, their voices small and thin against the roar. All sense of direction was gone. The stars that normally guided them were hidden behind an impenetrable wall of storm clouds. Had the wind spun them completely around? They had no way of knowing. They could see the fear in each other's eyes, illuminated by the brief, terrifying flashes of lightning that now began to split the sky. As the 4th watch of the night began, sometime between 3 and 6 in the morning, they reached their breaking point. All that was left was a grim, hopeless resignation. They were simply waiting for the inevitable, for the wave that would finally overwhelm them and pull them down into the cold, dark depths. It was in this moment of absolute despair, when all hope was lost, that one of the disciples saw it. It was a figure, a lone human shape, standing upright, moving steadily across the surface of the churning, chaotic sea. He rubbed his eyes and looked again. It was still there. And then they saw it too. A silhouette against the tumultuous waves, walking toward them as if the raging storm was nothing more than a paved road. Their minds, steeped in the folklore and superstitions of their time, went to a darker place. It had to be a spirit, an apparition, a phantom from the watery depths. The grim resignation they had felt just moments before was gone, replaced by a fresh, sharp, and overwhelming wave of pure panic.
A ghost. A water spirit.
They were reduced to terrified men cowering in their boat. Their screams mingled with the shrieking of the wind, creating a symphony of terror on the dark water. The figure drew closer, its pace unhurried, its presence utterly serene amidst the chaos. Just as the disciples' terror reached its absolute peak, a voice cut through the howling of the wind. It was a voice they knew better than their own.
Take courage. It is I. Do not be afraid.
In that moment, the ghost they feared became the master they loved. The terrifying apparition resolved into the familiar face of their teacher. They stared, dumbfounded, as the reality sank in. Jesus was walking on the water. He walked on the very waves that had threatened to destroy them. But one of them was not content to just watch. That man was Peter. He saw his master doing the impossible, and a wild, audacious idea sparked within him. He didn't just want to see the miracle, he wanted to be a part of it.
"Lord, if it's you," he called out, "tell me to come to you on the water."
It was a request born of a deep, if sometimes reckless faith. He was essentially saying, if you are who I believe you are, then the power that holds you up can hold me up too. He met Peter's challenge with a simple one-word invitation. Come. He had a choice to make. Trust the storm, which he could see and feel, or trust Jesus, who was asking him to do the impossible. He took a deep breath, and then he moved. He climbed over the side of the boat. He let go of the splintered wood, his only source of security, and placed his full weight, his full trust, not on the raging sea, but on the one who had called him to it. The moment Peter's foot touched the surface of the sea, the unbelievable happened. It held him. He was doing it. He was actually walking on the water, a participant in the miracle itself, not just a spectator. The other disciples watched from the boat, their minds completely blown. Now they were seeing their friend, their loud, impulsive, ordinary friend Peter, doing the very same thing. For those few steps, his faith was perfect. His focus was absolute. He looked only at Jesus, and as long as his eyes were fixed on the author of the miracle continued. But storms are persistent things. A massive wave, a mountain of black water, crested right beside him. The cold spray hit his face like a slap, and that's when he made his mistake. He took his eyes off Jesus. He looked at the wind. He saw the waves. He remembered to be afraid. The bubble of faith popped. The moment his focus broke, the moment doubt crept in, the miracle began to unravel. The feeling of sinking would have been terrifying. The water that had been a solid walkway just seconds before now began to yield. The exhilaration of walking on water was instantly replaced by the primal panic of drowning. He was going down fast.
"Lord, save me!"
A simple three-word prayer, perhaps the most honest he ever uttered. His only hope was the person he had taken his eyes off of. Jesus did not hesitate. The moment Peter cried out, Jesus acted. Immediately, the scripture says, he reached out his hand. Jesus caught him. His grip would have been strong, sure, and absolute. The moment Jesus' hand closed around Peter's, the sinking stopped. As Jesus held him, he spoke to him. "You of little faith," he said, "why did you doubt?" The problem wasn't the storm. The problem was the doubt that allowed the storm to win. The goal isn't to never doubt. The goal is to know who to call out to when we do. As Jesus helped Peter back into the boat, something profound happened. The moment they were both safely aboard, the wind ceased. The tempest was over, as quickly and as supernaturally as it had begun. The power that had walked on the water had now commanded the water to be still. A new day arrived on the Sea of Galilee and in their hearts. The men in the boat now found themselves doing something completely different. They worshipped him. They spoke the truth the storm had revealed to them, their voices filled with awe. Truly, you are the Son of God. This story is a journey we all take. We find ourselves in storms. We face winds of doubt and waves of fear that threaten to sink us. But Jesus comes, walking over what we fear. He is there to catch us when we fall. Our moments of weakness do not disqualify us. They become entrances for grace to reach down and pull us up. This ancient storm story is a timeless invitation. To have courage, to face our storms with eyes fixed on a higher power, and to discover the one who calls is faithful to save us, calm the sea, and bring us safely to the other side.